The UN and human rights groups have warned the authorities in Sri Lanka against using excessive force at largely peaceful protests during a growing economic crisis. It comes as police fired tear gas and water cannon to disperse crowds in the capital, Colombo. For weeks, police have been accused of heavy-handedness during protests, though authorities say it is to restore order as tensions escalate. Our South Asia correspondent Rajini has this report.
The Sri Lankans take to the streets over food and fuel shortages. Accusations the police is using excessive force to silence them. In the small town of Rambukana, a protest at a petrol station turns tense. Police fire tear gas and live rounds to disperse the crowd. A father of two shot in the stomach. Chaminda Lakshan sold fruit and vegetables to support his family.
He took this truck.
He told his wife Priyangani he'd gone to get fuel. Hours later, she was called to the hospital.
They told me he had been shot. I looked everywhere for him. Then I found him on a trolley. He was dead.
More than a dozen others were injured, including police officers. One of the youngest victims, 15-year-old Sahan.
And this one says gunshot.
He'd gone to see the protest after school.
Tear gas was fired. Then I was shot. Something struck my arm and I saw blood gushing.
4 policemen are being held over the shooting. The UN's warned against the excessive use of tear gas and water cannons to disperse demonstrators, urging Sri Lanka's government to guarantee the right to peaceful protest.
We were worried about our lives.
Law student Nirashan Wetanaga was peacefully demonstrating with a group outside Parliament, rounded up by police.
They forcefully dragged our friends into the bus. We asked, why are we being taken away?
The group faced charges of criticising the president. Echoes of tactics allegedly used by Sri Lanka's security forces during the country's civil war.
We did nothing wrong, nothing illegal. We were all terrified at how the police is misusing the law to oppress people that were rising up against the government.
We asked the Sri Lankan authorities for a response, but didn't receive a reply.
This isn't the first time that allegations of police brutality have surfaced in Sri Lanka. The country's had a long history of accusations of brutality committed by the security forces, in particular during the decades-long civil war, which saw members of the country's minority Tamil community targeted in particular.
Successive Sri Lankan governments have been intolerant of dissent.
Human rights groups say these latest cases follow a long pattern of the government cracking down on free speech, a charge it's consistently denied.
It is to prevent people from exercising their freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, all of which, what is the purpose, ultimate purpose? Stay in power.
Priyangani's still searching for justice.
This is a memorial to Chaminda.
In an economic crisis which has plunged Sri Lankans into despair, many wonder whether they're losing their democratic rights too. Rajini Vaidyanathan, BBC News, Rambukana, Sri Lanka.